Major League Baseball has hit its All-Star break, with the Midsummer Classic coming tomorrow in Atlanta between the American League and National League. And I'm sure you've heard the term All-Star snubs, meaning that players who did not get elected, whether by the players, managers, or even by vote, to participate in either one of those leagues for tomorrow's game. Well, now I got a new one, All-Star flubs. Meaning that you have a guy in Jacob Misiorowski, the young right-handed hurler of the Milwaukee Brewers who could throw his fastball through a brick wall, who started off his career 5 starts, 4-1 with an ERA of 2.81, including 11 hitless innings. That's right, hitless innings to start his career. 5 against the St. Louis Cardinals in his debut, and then 6 perfect innings against the Minnesota Twins. What? Was this guy just all of a sudden going to come out and be Sandy Koufax? Well, we got to pump the brakes because it's only 5 starts. But wait a minute. Those 5 starts were enough for him to get an All-Star nod to the National League team. How is this possible? How did this go down? What is going on? Well, not only does Major League Baseball have a problem today, but they also have a problem moving forward. I'm going to start with problem number 1. The first one is, did you hear a lot of the other responses in Major League Baseball, especially with the players? In particular, Trey Turner, the shortstop of the Philadelphia Phillies. He came out and said that this decision was effing terrible. And I'm sure you know what the effing is. And I bet that there are other players that have whispered in clubhouses over the weekend to say, how the hell does this kid get a nod into the All-Star game? I've been playing for 8, 9, 10 years, and I put up good stats, and I haven't even been selected to one All-Star game. I understand it's not the kid's fault. We can't look at him to be the guy that is the poster child now for future All-Stars that have been with the team for a cup of coffee. And think about it. Today is July 14th. His debut was 32 days ago, June the 12th. So one more time, I get it that you're a comet, hopefully not passing in the sky, but passing long enough to have a great Major League career. But despite his tremendous start, doesn't necessarily mean that he should be an All-Star. And I get it, because if I'm a player, I'd be jealous too and have a little bit of envy, etc. Because for a kid who's just getting his feet wet, and despite the fact that he has just been absolutely phenomenal, but does he really deserve an All-Star appearance, selection, etc.? I mean, what's going to happen next? A guy's going to come in for 2 weeks and he's going to bat 800 with 4 home runs and 13 RBIs, and the next thing you know, well, you know what? We got to bring him up to the All-Star game. Why not? That's what's going to happen next, and that's problem number 1. And I understand last year you had Paul Skeens, who was a former number 1 pick, Pittsburgh Pirate right-hander, who quite possibly could be your Cy Young Award winner in the National League this year. And even though he was brought up, I believe, in the early part of May, he did have a couple of months. And even then it was questioned on whether or not he should have been an All-Star. So there is some, no matter how you slice it, some controversy surrounding players who get brought up. And in this case, the month of June, almost the middle of June, and then here it is a month later that he's an All-Star? Ah, come on, Major League Baseball. You gotta read the tea leaves a little bit better than that. And here's the second problem that I'm gonna have with baseball when it comes to bringing up a star like that, which really goes across all 30 teams and all the big faces in the sport. No matter what baseball is going to tell you here over the next 24 hours, and I'm sure when he gets brought into the game, because why is he on the team? He's not going to get selected for him just to sit on the bench for 9 innings and therefore for him to be an afterthought. But at the same time, this is baseball's biggest problem, how they market their stars. And I'm sure that's what they're going to say here over the course of the next 2 days. Oh, we're bringing him up because he's going to be the next rising phenom. He's going to be probably the face of the Milwaukee Brewers, or maybe even the face of baseball. Nonsense! Why is this a thing where baseball is going to hang their hat on this when they don't even market their big stars? All right, you may see a commercial here with Shohei Ohtani or Francisco Lindor, or maybe a couple of other players that I haven't even thought of off the top of my head, where they should be almost on every commercial, no matter what station that you're on, no matter what channel, no matter what you stream. These guys should be front and center. Yes, the Shohei Ohtanis, the Bryce Harpers, the Manny Machados, the Aaron Judges, go on down the list. This shouldn't be a situation where, oh, let's just handpick a few guys and then all of a sudden, boom. What is it? Madison Avenue's not knocking on the door of Aaron Judge, a guy who just hit 350 home runs in his career faster than anybody in Major League Baseball history. And we all know that he is the face of baseball. I don't want to hear Shohei Ohtani right this very second because Ohtani's a DH. Judge, as we all know, plays the outfield, plays almost 162 games, and therefore should be the guy that is, bar none, the best player in baseball. And trust me, I'm a Met fan. To say this about a Yankee doesn't pain me, but I got to keep it real with you guys. So this is a situation where baseball can talk all they want about marketing their sport or marketing their players, so on and so forth. And we know that they come up with goose eggs when it comes to that. So I don't want to hear that Misiorowski is going to be a guy that, oh, we're going to market, or oh, he's going to be this, or he's going to be that, or trust me, his star's rising. Yes, that may be true, but is he going to be on billboards throughout the country hawking a product or even promoting something that everybody sees, whether it's a soft drink or any other product that you want to throw out there? And this is the problem. When you look at the NFL, when you look at the NBA, where they're littered with stars, the Patrick Mahomes of the world, the Josh Allens, the LeBron Jameses, we could go through the whole list. Anthony Edwards with Sprite commercials. NBA's fine. And we understand that the NBA, they're going to target their players because they're almost entities in their own right because of the player empowerment movement. So you're going to see a lot of those guys maybe get those deals when it comes to merchandising or when it comes to being able to hawk a product and things of that nature. Why can't baseball do the same here? What? So you're going to see Shohei Ohtani in a New Balance commercial and that's it? You're not going to see him in a slew of commercials? And I understand he's from Japan, so he may not have that broad appeal here in the United States. So what happened with Aaron Judge? He's baseball's biggest star. He should be on every commercial right now. Whether it's burgers, whether it's soft drinks, whether it's beer, who knows? But this is the problem with baseball. It's not even just a thing about Misiorowski being elected to the All-Star game. And I get it, that is just sports talk fodder. Not only for guys like you and me, but also for players who certainly put the thumbs down on a selection like this. But when it comes to the sport overall, and this is its biggest problem, I understand they try to tweak the rules. I understand that they're trying to do its best to attract a younger fan because we all know with the NBA and NFL, they right now rule the roost. NFL over everybody, but the NBA is in second place. Whereas baseball, with deep history, going back to the 19th century, and with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and Jackie Robinson and Joe D and Ted Williams and Willie Mays, and please, the list is endless. And you mean to tell me in 2025, as you try to resuscitate your sport by putting in pitch clocks and stolen bases and banning the shift, that you cannot even market your best player? What is going on here? This is what the world wants to see. This is what it's all about. Self-promotion, being able to enhance your league even more by using your game's greatest players. And what have you done with that? Unfortunately, I got to use this pun, people, so the Yankee fan are going to get pissed off. That was like Aaron Judge dropping a fly ball in Game 5 of the World Series last year. That's what baseball has done. And I hate to say it, unless they start to turn it around here and start to showcase their talent to the point where they do get those marketing deals or they are able to be sponsored by these big companies to where you see them on billboards, ads, commercials, etc., baseball is going to be way behind the pecking order when it comes to sports here in America. And yes, I'm a tried and true baseball fan. And what happened here with Jacob Misiorowski's selection was preposterous. Shouldn't have happened. Because just like I mentioned earlier, you're going to have somebody who's going to have a hot week 2 weeks before the All-Star game, and right away, they're going to be playing in the game before you know it. And therefore, cause an even more of an uproar when you have young players that are just scratching the surface, all of a sudden become all-stars within a snap. So now here we are. Another problem that baseball has to handle. And it's not even just this with the Milwaukee Brewer pitcher, but it's the bigger picture overall. Not being able to market your game's brightest stars on a much more bigger platform than an all-star game, it looks like you're going to be stuck way behind both the NBA and NFL no matter how you try to change it. And obviously, if you don't change it at any point or even anytime soon, you're going to be up the track as a horse that is 100 to 1 trying to keep up with the Joneses with the NBA and NFL, which right now is looking next to impossible.